Japanese companies are actually the most profitable, the most successful companies in Venezuela? Well, today we discuss.
Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com.
Well, today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite places in the world, that is actually Japan. Never been there, by the way. Never been in Japan. I don't know why. Never happened for me. Well, anyway, the thing about Japan is that, of course, we know the history of Japan, at least on economics, that after World War II, that basically the country got destroyed, got wrecked. And I'm not going to talk about World War II history because I can spend the whole day talking about just World War II. I'm a big history buff. Anyways, what happened is, thanks to, of course, the synergy with the US and the funds, also, of course, with great policies implemented in Japan, but this particular culture, the Kaizen culture of Japan, got them on a very good place from, being destroyed on the mid-40s and early 50s to the 70s and the 80s, basically almost becoming the biggest economy in the world. But of course, also we have to talk about the Japanese bubble, the collapse of the Nikkei, and basically Japan didn't grow their economy after 3 decades almost, something like that. Also, we know that it was a bubble back then in Japan regarding their real estate, that the imperial palace grounds, that particular real estate property costed more than the whole real estate market in California, something like that. And also the Ginza area on Tokyo, very luxurious area. The price per square meter was around $1.5 million for 1 square meter of property over there. So, a bunch of crazy things happen. Of course, we have to talk about the Bank of Japan quantitative easing. And of course, I'm not going to get into the details. I'm going to get into the things, the everyday things. Japan was able to develop these huge companies that dominate the market. Like, for instance, we have Sony and Panasonic and Toyota and Honda and Yamaha. By the way, I love Yamaha. I have both bikes and also keyboards of Yamaha. So that's why I have and also Japanese cars. And also I love the Japanese cars and Japanese stuff. And also the culture, the geishas, the sushi, the anime. Japan is a very cool place with a cool culture to export. And also the products, the main point is that the products of Japan are aspirational, are practical, excellent quality with reasonable prices. Now, how Japanese companies and products play in Venezuela? Well, actually, the known companies, the known products, Japanese products in Venezuela are actually very desired and even aspirational. For instance, you know that Toyota is the most popular car manufacturer here in the country. It's aspirational, actually. In Venezuela, gives you more status owning a used Toyota than owning actually a BMW or a Mercedes car. And same thing regarding clothing and also products and also, of course, culture and sushi. Sushi is very popular here in Venezuela. You can go to a small town, the smallest town here in Venezuela, and actually find a sushi place. Don't ask me why. But the main point, of course, you have to talk about the products, the computers, the cell phones, every electronic gadget, anything on that particular regard is actually very popular here in Venezuela. Now, the funny thing is that the Venezuelan market, actually the Venezuelan consumer behavior is very particular because, of course, we know that the average Venezuelan has been impoverished, but they are spenders. The consumer behavior in Venezuela is very special, is very aspirational. I discussed this a bunch of times, and they want good quality products. And regarding, of course, on their purchasing power, they are going to get it, and of course, depend on the particular strata. The point is that Venezuelans are going to pay a premium for something that actually gives them a better ROI, not only regarding utility, but also regarding experience and status. Now, the biggest player regarding consumer behavior here, consumer products from abroad, are, I would say, China and Turkey on a lesser degree, and recently also Colombia. There are a few others. Now, the issue is that China, of course, China is by far dominating consumer products from abroad, both from food production, electronic gadgets, and recently, actually, automakers. We have a bunch of Chinese automakers here in the country. And the Venezuelans, since, of course, beggars can be choosers, they are choosing the Chinese products because, let's be honest, they are decent quality for the price that they offer, and also the manufacturing, and also the ease how you can ship things from China to the rest of the world. And okay, Chinese companies they are competitive, not only in Venezuela, I mean the rest of the world. Turkish, on a lesser degree, is not aspirational at all to buy Turkish products here in the country, but I mean, they are resourceful, they are effective, and Colombians, not as much. And I can talk about from the rest of the world, but the main point is that the most great products here are aspirational products. I'm talking products from the US, maybe Europe, that we also have, but not on a different scale. So that makes the end price, the final price for the final consumer, being prohibitive for the purchasing power of Venezuelans. And here's where Japan comes. That Japan already has established a brand as a country here in Venezuela on the minds of the average consumer regarding good cars. I mean, Toyotas are actually aspirational here in Venezuela, also the food, also the electronic gadgets, and so on and so on. So the opportunity that I'm seeing right now is that if we have more Japanese presence here in Venezuela, they can make a bang and dominate many consumer markets within the country. I'm talking products, of course, Toyota. If Toyota can expand yet again their presence I know what they haven't expanded yet, of course. It's very understandable, but they have a huge market share, by the way. But also, you can talk about products like, for instance, these particular department stores that we have in Japan, like Daiso or Don Quixote, that they sell very good quality products on very low prices. So if you can find something, a way in order to make synergy between those particular products and customer service as well, and bring it to Venezuela, that's an excellent opportunity in order to dominate the Venezuelan market decades to come. Now, is this possible? It's impossible? Well, it's not impossible, of course, it isn't. And also, it's risky for these particular companies. Now, when I'm saying Japanese, if you are not from Japan, but you have similar products, you can actually make something happen here in the country. But remember, with an aspirational touch, but at the same time, with great ROI regarding price and quality. The main point is, I would love to see here in Venezuela a store like Daiso or Don Quixote. If they put it on the east side of Caracas, that store will be very, very, very profitable. Same thing if you can bring Toyota or other brands in Venezuela. I mean, we have the well-known brands, Toyota, Sony, Honda, Yamaha. We have these things here in the country. But if by some chance, by some sort of strategy implemented with that particular mindset and that kind of products and services in Venezuela, that's a heck of an opportunity within the Venezuelan economy.
Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again and have a nice day.